Hello beadlings! I'm back and this is the second part of the X-Base cuff tutorial, and I'm going to teach you how to make an X-Base 3D. Here are the materials you're going to need in order to make a 3D 1X base cuff. You'll need pony beads, string, optionally a needle, and an already made X-Base cuff. If you're not sure how to make these, I will put a link to my tutorial on this cuff in the upper right hand corner. You can just click it, go watch that, and then come back here. Now to make your cuff into a 3D cuff, the first thing you're going to do is cut off a length of string that's about 3 feet long, and you're going to tie it to your cuff in a place where you can hide the knot inside of a bead. You're just going to tie this in a regular triple knot like you're tying a shoe. Once you've got that on there securely, you're going to cut off the short end of the string. And if you're using a yarn needle, you're going to tie the long end to your yarn needle in order to secure it so that it doesn't slip off when you're adding beads. Now you want to get your string into position so that it is coming out of one of the contact beads. Here it's pink beads. Contact bead is just a name for the alternate beads that sit a little bit lower than the, two on the top. So with it coming out of that contact bead, you're going to add 5 pony beads. I'm doing a specific pattern here that I think looks nice. You can really do whatever pattern you want. The important thing is to add 5 beads and then run it through the next contact bead over to the right. So you want to be going with the direction that the string is going. And you pull it tight, it will make a little point like this. And you're just going to keep adding 5 pony beads in between those 2 contact beads all the way around the cuff, over and over, keeping the string tight so that they form a whole row of little points. In order to save a little time, I'm not going to show you me repeating this. I'm just going to show you when that's done. So now that you've got that top row of points all done, you're going to turn them into 3D X's by running your string through the first 3 beads of that first point that you added. So it comes out of that middle bead, like right in that spike, just like this. And then you're going to add 2 beads and you're going to run it through the bottom contact bead over to the right, sort of diagonal there. So what you're going to do is pull it tight, and you can see how it's starting to make an X shape. So you add 2 beads, run it through the next point, and then add another 2 beads. Come on, there we go. And add through the next contact point and pull it tight. So you can see here, you're basically making a bunch of 3D X's all the way around the cuff. Sorry if I'm a little bit loopy. I did get my first COVID vaccine shot yesterday, and I am very sleepy. But you basically just do this. You make X's all the way around the outside of the cuff, and this is a technique that I use in making a ton of different types of 3D cuffs. You can do this on like as big of a cuff as you like. I'm just showing you on a 1X cuff because that's kind of the first easiest way to do it, but you can use this to make 3D points on like pretty much any type of cuff, as many X's high as you would like. So I'm just going to repeat this all the way around the cuff until it is fully 3D, and then there's going to be one more step, which is here when I'm adding that final leg to that very first X that we started. Add 2 beads, and it's going to go through that middle bead. So you could end it off here. You could just run the string through one of the arms of the X and tie it off, and that would be the end of it. Or, just like that. Or you could add one more layer, which is what I'm going to do because I'm fancy like that. So I'm going to pull in a third color here and once again add 5 beads in between each middle point of those X's. So there's the 5 beads, and we're going to go into the next middle bead and pull it tight. And if you keep the string really tight, it's going to make a little point. See, just like that. You do that all the way around the cuff, and you'll have a nice little spiked cuff. Like I said, I'm fancy. I'm a little extra. So I'm going to be a little extra here and add a little extra decoration in addition to the spikes. I have my little base head beads. I have my little trans rights bead. See that? Trans rights. Go support Basehead Beads. Mark is a fantastic person. I love him dearly. And we're gonna pull that tight. There we go. So now I've got one little decorative spot on this cuff. And then on the opposite side of the cuff, again, because I am extra, we're gonna say trans. And then we're also gonna say rights, because trans rights are human rights. Okay, side note, in order to do that trans rights little thing where I've got trans on the top and rights on the bottom, I finished off all of the spikes and then I ran the string back up through the pink beads and then over all the way around the top through like everything else. I'm going to show you here what I did. It took a little while, so I'm going to speed it up. But it's just, again, a little fancy extra trick that I did because I didn't want it to just be like trans. Like, yeah, I am trans, but like trans rights just sounds better on a cuff. I did tie just one knot there in order to hold it in place, and then use the plastic yarn needle to just literally string the string all the way back around to the back of the cuff where I had trans, and then run it down the arm and add rights directly underneath. And you can see just like that, string it through the next center bead over, pull it tight, and there you go, trans rights. Once that's done, all that's left is to tie it off, which, again, if you didn't watch my last video on X-Base cuffs, I kind of go into a little more detail there about how to tie it off, but basically you just want to put the knot somewhere that you can easily hide it inside of a bead. I prefer using a triple knot because they don't come undone really easily. Some people like using square knots. Really, whatever works best for you is totally fine. Just make sure you pull it tight enough, and then clip off the long end, and there you go. That is the basic on how you make a X-Base cuff into a 3D X-Base cuff. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you and your support. Thank you so much to everybody who has started following me on here. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. I appreciate you following me and supporting me and coming on this journey with me, building up my channel. I want to go through all of the like basic stitches, and then once we have all the basics covered, start getting, you know, more and more intricate. And remember, peace, love, unity, and respect. Be good to each other. I love you.